actually, I remember like getting weirdly like this guy Scott Butnick is trying to get hold of me, and I was like, I thought it was bullshit. I was just kept ignoring it because it was a weird time. I was like, people kept trying to hit me up with things, and I was like, this is just another one of those. And I remember I ignored it for a few months, and maybe more actually, like 6 months, and then. Someone I was working with, like a manager at the time that I had, was like, you should take this seriously, like, you know, it's Warner Brothers. I was like, oh shit, really? And then I was like, okay, set up a call. And I literally, and then we spoke, and even then I kind of played it a little bit cool, because Scott was like, we need to bring you out to LA I was in Canada at the time editing, but he was like, we need to bring you out to LA to meet everyone, meet the studio, and I was like, yeah, maybe like in a couple of months I'll be ready. And he's like, no.
I was like, motherfucker, we got to make this movie. Hurry up.
So yeah, that was how it happened. But yeah, just this one commercial, which is kind of like also quite a mad thing to think about. Like you talk about the studio taking a risk and wanting to make this movie, but there's so many things had to align for this to happen, and just the idea that you do a commercial that kind of like catches the right people's eyes, you know what I mean? And it's like the right time, and there was an idea for a party movie, and I happened to like just do that commercial, and do you know what I mean? And then like from that to kind of like get the opportunity to make a fucking movie, it's like insanity for me, you know? So, and I think the cast also share a bit of that as well.
Yeah, well, I want to talk about the casting process, and then I want all of you guys to chime in here. So the crazy part about this movie is we wanted it to feel real. So for it to feel real, we couldn't put actors in the movie, right? If you guys recognize them as actors, it didn't feel real, they're actors. So we had to find people who hadn't done anything or hadn't done much. So we literally did a massive open call, and we probably saw 120 people for every role. And these are the winners right here.
And let's
go quickly. We're going to turn it to you guys in a little bit, but let's go quickly, like 30 seconds down the line. What is your either best or worst memory from the casting process? JB.
Worst memory from the casting process? Probably going to the studio like 20 fucking times, man.
Sorry, no.
They kept bringing us in over and over and over again, and then are we doing this? Are we not doing this? What's going on here? Oh, you got to come into the Warner Brothers lot again. So it was sort of this madness over the course of a few weeks where we just were kind of in this stage of purgatory, and we were being mixed and mashed with so many amazing actors. But once Oliver, Thomas, and I were clicked together, it really started to settle itself, you know.
True story. Thomas.
There were so many auditions that a couple different times I was told that I wasn't getting the part. It's not going forward.
Yeah.
And then just a couple weeks went by.
Sorry, dog.
And then
we said that to everyone.
We're
Sorry.
like, okay, if we couldn't find anyone, just come back and try.
By the way, I told them to say the best or the worst memory, and they're all saying the worst memories.
The best part was hanging out.
It's auditioning. I mean, what?
Big Bear, so you guys to Big Bear, Disneyland.
Oh, Big Bear, Disneyland.
That was after we got the part.
Yeah, that was after we got the parts, for sure.
Kirby, best or worst memory from casting?
Best memory probably is I got a phone call after a table read, and we were like, we're gonna make you Mark Bear, actually.
Yeah.
And we're gonna make it more like you. And I was like, all right. And like we all kind of played versions of ourselves. You're not as much of an asshole, but we all kind of played versions of ourselves. And yeah, I don't know. I'm proud to be up here because I actually really care about all these fuckers. So, and thank you, JB, for putting this together because it means a lot.
Hey.
JB.
Oliver.
One of my favorite is when I actually first auditioned, I had an audition for Thomas's role, and I thought, oh, that makes sense. Like I'm like a nerdy guy or whatever. And I misread. It was the scene with the drugs where we're taking the pills, or where I'm giving you the pills, but it was basically I was playing that part, and I thought it was in a bathroom. And I thought.
By the way, hold on real quick. That was 15 years ago. No pills, no powder today. No pills, no powder today. That was 15 years ago. Keep going.
No one's taking
Until we make the sequel.
No one's taking drugs anymore. I remember they were taking pills in the bathroom, and for whatever reason, I was so young and stupid that I thought that I was taking a shit. in the scene. No, seriously, I thought I was taking the shit in the scene, giving him drugs. I don't know why that's what went on in my head. So I put in the first audition, I don't even think you guys were there, but I was like, I'd never been on an audition before. I'm pulling my pants down. I had I bought tidy whitey underwears just to wear. I pull my pants down and I'm like, come on, bro, take these pills or whatever it was. I think someone was giving it to me. I don't remember the scene.
Was our female casting director very scared?
Coast to Cape.
At that
No,
moment?
I think they clearly liked me. No, it was actually at that moment they were like, Oliver, can you go outside 15 minutes, come back and read Costa? That's what it was, because they were like, this guy's clearly crazy.
Hi, Dax.
I was in high school and y'all were flying me out to do the auditions in Burbank, so that was really cool.
And you were staying at the Tangerine Hotel next to Don Cuco's in Burbank. I remember that.
Even though you don't see him that much in the movie, he was there every single day and watched and wanted to really be part of it, which is wicked. Thank you.
Alexis. Someone give Alexis a microphone. Someone give Alexis a microphone.
Hi.
Alexis.
Hey! I would say the best would be when I got a call that I got a role, and then I'd have a couple lines or something, and I was like, yes! I had just gotten an agent and manager and stuff, and got thrown into this. That was the first part of the best news. Then the second part of the best news was a week later getting a call that they wanted to see me and only me to do a cold reading to potentially do a bigger part. That was crazy, and then that worked out. The worst memory that I will talk about.
From casting?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't worry, Butters.
Love you.
I love you.
We're not going to talk about that other worst memory.
It's all good, buddy. Would be when I actually got to audition for this. It was already in the middle of their sixth callback or something. So when I walked onto the stage, if you will, there was a lot of dirty looks from other actors that had been there 6, 7, 8 times, and it was my first time walking in. So that was my worst memory of the casting process. Having to be
Having to be a winner.
having to be militant and not look anyone in the fucking eyes as I go to my audition.
I think one thing that was really cool is that Neema and I were always talking about how do we make these guys that didn't know each other best friends. So but we didn't really have to do anything. They just kind of did it on their own. So I remember JB, Thomas, Oliver, you guys on your own went to Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that was one of
And
those.
the party bus was you guys too, the party bus.
And then I remember we did a Big Bear trip, right? To
That
Big
was
Bear,
a lot
to
of
House of
fun.
Big Bear. And just watching them click like that was unbelievable. They really became these guys.
I think just the fact that they were all so kind of young and new to it as well, and it was this kind of opportunity sort of made them feel safer being together. Do you know what I mean? And it's just naturally, they were just hanging out without us even trying to make it.
I think it was also because we were all in a very similar situation where, I went from living with my aunts and, to, you're starring in a Warner Brothers movie. I remember finding out that I was doing that opening scene, where I'm I forget the opening of the movie. I remember I found out that literally, my aunt had double hip replacement surgery. I'm putting on her socks, and I get a call from you telling me you got to do this opening scene. So it's for all of us, I feel it was just we were bonding on this.
Well, yeah, we were getting paid. I was 18.
Yeah. I was 20.
Yeah,
I was
19 or
19.
20.
So young. You're getting paid to be in a movie.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So the production process was wild. So because there were so many night scenes, other than the school stuff, which we shot during the day at Palisades High, Pali High was the school. Almost everything else was shot at the Warner Brothers Ranch, which is the lot. It was a fake neighborhood. Obviously, we didn't burn down a real neighborhood.
Which, by the way, was where I shot my Adidas